now for our Canes Where Miami Hurricanes report. I don't know how much Hurricanes we'll be talking with Manny Navarro because there isn't a lot of Hurricanes going on. But, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. You can get a lot of tips on how to deal with boredom, how to teach your kids, how to hang out all day.
What's it like being Mr. Mom?
What's it like? Yeah, being Mr. Mom because, he's got a lot of experience right now. So for you misters out there, you want some tips, you got to reach out to Manny Navarro. In fact, I would imagine there's an athletic article coming out about Mr. Mom during this crisis, right?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do the how to be Mr. Mom from home when you're a sports writer, and how difficult it is to get your daughters to sit and do anything but play on their phone or their tablet, because that's all they want to do. They don't want to do any sort of reading. They don't want to do any sort of activities. It's all about the internet, man, and being connected.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. Hey, listen, right now there's not a lot of stuff that we could talk about, but the one thing I will ask you before I ask you a couple of other general questions that we've been talking about here on the show is when you look at how football's going to change because of the coronavirus, and as this continues and as it extends into the summer, what has the University of Miami football program said on how it's going to adjust its schedule as it goes along? And is there any chance that even the football schedule itself could be altered?
Well, I mean, in terms of schedule and all that, I mean, I don't think teams have talked about the target date of being able to start fall football August 1st. That's the goal in their minds. But beyond that, I mean, everything is just up in the air.
Okay.
As far as the season goes, as far as any real planning and expectations for when guys will be back. I mean, right now everybody's on their own working out. They're just really sending them sort of individual workouts for different groups, and they're doing what they can, man, to get by this epidemic and to pass the time and to be ready for whatever football resumes. I know as far as recruiting is concerned, they're doing some virtual sort of visits. I just saw it now on Twitter. Manny put out one of the videos with DeMarcus Van Dyke, the former player who's now there on staff as an assistant recruiting director, and he's giving a tour of the facilities. That's kind of what's happening now in college football. I mean, basically, programs are trying to survive as best they can, and you know how kids are today with technology, doing the virtual tours, doing the text message threads, doing all that kind of stuff is what they're doing right now. And
I just thought about this. Now that Rick Pitino is back in the mix, he can have virtual prostitutes, and he won't get in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, he can do all the sexting he wants right now. He can do.
Just saying,
I mean, really. I mean, that's what strip clubs are going to become now, right? I mean, you can probably do it all virtually, and that's it. That's the way we're going to survive this epidemic.
Wow, no doubt. All right, so we'll see how they end up handling it. I just wanted to have a little fun with you and throw a couple subjects around since the NFL is a little bit more prominent, and you follow with it enough. So where are you with the whole Dolphins number 5 thing? Are you on the Tua bandwagon? Are you on the Herbert bandwagon? Do you want a position player because you don't trust either of those guys? Please don't tell me about trading up to Joe Burrow. Eso es una paja mental. Please, let's not get into that, okay? Out of all those other options I gave you.
Well, I think Tua is still, to me, the most talented quarterback in this draft. I know Joe Burrow had a tremendous year at LSU and is worthy of all the praise that he got. I mean, 16 touchdown passes in a season, whatever the hell he did. I mean, statistically, it was just ridiculous. And but to me, Tua is still probably the most proven quarterback of all of them. And doing it in the SEC every single week, obviously had a great team around him. But to me, he's probably the most proven guy of all the rookies. Honestly, this morning I was thinking about it. With this whole fiasco going on with the Houston Texans and trading DeAndre Hopkins and now Deshaun Watson is kind of upset. I just thought about this a little while ago. Why not trade for Deshaun Watson if the Texans are going to blow this thing up? You can offer that number 5 pick. They can draft another quarterback. I'd rather have the proven Pro Bowl quarterback in Deshaun Watson over an unproven rookie.
I'm with you. I talked about that today on the show that They'll probably keep him this year because it's a $2 million salary, and then the following year it's 10, but it's the final year. So if you don't come up with a contract this year, you're going to lose him next year, or you're going to have to tag him, and then that becomes a real problem and all of that. So you're probably better off trading him, and I would imagine that next year is when that trading market starts for him. But if they want to start a rebuild right away, I'm with you, man. I would trade for Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat, bro. Build an offense, on a studly offensive line in front of him, and let's get rocking.
Yeah, what would you give up, Bo, to get him? Because obviously you said that, the $2 million contract, to get him right now, I would guess it takes at least 2 first-rounders, maybe 3, to get a guy his age in his prime doing what he's done so far.
But we're talking about Bill O'Brien. He doesn't really ask for much. So let's just go with, you know what I mean? Let's just go with, like 1 first-rounder and 1 second-rounder, and then let's see where it goes from there. Because I don't know. With this guy, you might be able to bamboozle his ass. And let me tell you something. If he starts to wait longer and longer, it becomes a more desperate situation for them. But, normally you're in the ballpark, dude. It's going to take at least a couple first-rounders, a couple second-rounders, something like that normally to trade for a guy like that.
Well, I would do it in a heartbeat. And if I'm the Dolphins, that's what I'm trying to do the next few weeks, see if we can pull it off now.
Yeah.
Because while this thing is hot and he's upset and that guy over there in Houston is thinking about what to do.
But that gets you fired. Yeah. That's the problem there. Yeah. So far the owner's stupid enough to not even realize that Bill O'Brien shouldn't be the GM. Can you imagine if he ends up trading Deshaun? In fact, I think the owner will say, no, there's no way you're trading Deshaun Watson. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. So I don't even think they'll allow that to happen because the city would lose its freaking mind if you trade Deshaun Watson. The Texans fans would just, it would be upheaval all over the place to get rid of that guy. So that's where I think, it's probably not realistic because it will get you fired. But, man, I would love to do that. Now, okay, we agree on this. That would definitely be the move to make. How about the move that is no risk at this point? Okay, you draft Tua. You're drafting an injury-prone guy that could probably stay injured. Herbert's got maturity issues, so you're taking some risk at 5 if you take either guy. Okay, so then why not just take position players, build up that team, right, and go get Jameis Winston right now. It doesn't cost you much. He's not going to ask for a big salary because he can't. Nobody wants him, so he has no leverage. And you try to teach him to play the game the right way. If he doesn't, you cut him. There's no financial burden to it. You lost no draft capital. But if somehow or another you get that guy to limit his interceptions to a reasonable number, you have a top 10 quarterback.
Well, I mean, look, that to me is an okay plan B. I guess when you look at Jameis and what he's done over the course of his career, yes, he's a talented passer, but just so many interceptions, man. And
Amen. I know.
I mean, I don't even know if you would lose enough for you to get a high pick next year to draft a quarterback. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? No, I mean.
Oh no, but listen, he may not start right away. You start with Fitz. You have him earn his way back in there. Right. Where in practice he's not throwing them. You know what I mean? Or you go from training camp to preseason to practices, where he kind of works his way up to that point that you say, okay, we can trust you. But if he's being a dumbass in the film room and he's being a dumbass on the field, then you don't. He never sees the light of day, and he stays there as a backup, or you cut him and you move on like you've done with. I mean, look at Rosen. They traded for him and they didn't screw around. It was like, nah, dude, you're not good enough. We're putting your ass on the bench. These guys don't screw around, bro. So they're not going to put the guy out there if they think he's a turnover machine. You know what I mean? That's one thing I do like about Flores. He doesn't screw around, dude. You can't play? Okay. Taco started hot. He ended up cold, and he ended up losing playing time. Charles Harris couldn't play. His ass was on the bench. This guy doesn't screw around, dude. He wouldn't play. He's not going to wheel out Winston every week, and he's throwing 3-4 interceptions. No shot.
I think the way you answer this question is you look at the drafts ahead and the quarterbacks coming out beyond this year, and besides Trevor Lawrence, I mean, and you look at the 21 draft, I mean, the 22 draft, what do you see coming out of college football now that entices you besides Trevor Lawrence?
Fields is the other kid from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Those are considered the top two guys at that spot for next year.
I think if you're the Dolphins, you have to figure out the quarterback situation now, just because I think it's a deeper draft where if somebody comes up and trades for the guy you want, somebody jumps up in front of you, you can take a guy a little bit lower in the draft and be okay with it. I just think you don't know what's going to happen this season. You don't know how other teams are going to be, what situation they're going to be, if they're going to try to lose to get Trevor Lawrence, how that whole situation is going to play out. Or they might be the first two guys taken, and then you don't end up with a quarterback next year. I just think this is such a deep draft. You have a top 5 pick. You make the play for the QB now, in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's that makes a lot of sense too. I'm just saying, if you don't make the move, then get a Jameis Winston for the hell of it and take a shot at a guy that's got a world of talent right now, and you never know if he figures it out. And you get, I get where you're coming from, because you're like the average person. You've kind of given up on this, that Jameis will figure it out, that he'll never figure it out. This is who he is. He's going to be a turnover machine no matter what you do. That's kind of the way you feel, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do. And then the other thing I question is do the Dolphins have anybody on this coaching staff that is a quarterback whisperer? Is there somebody that can really get this guy to elevate his level of play? I don't know if the Dolphins have that guy. Do they?
Oh, no, we don't know. No. Right now, we have no idea if they have that guy at all.
Well, I meant the quarterback whisperer. Do they have a coach on the staff that can make games better? I don't know that they do. They
have offensive coaches, but we have no idea if they're quarterback whisperers. That's
right.
I mean, and you know what? And what scares the crap out of you is that Bruce Arians is one. Okay,
right.
So and
he just failed with them.
Exactly. And that's the part that I completely understand, the people that are like, yeah, no, you know what? Oh, I get it, but yeah, because I just don't see him turning that corner. Because once Bruce Arians fails with you, that was a real indictment on Jameis this year. Once that guy failed with you, that really put Jameis in a tough position, because we all said, okay, Bruce should make this guy better. And unfortunately, yeah, he threw for 5,000 yards, but bro, the 30 interceptions, that's never going to help.
Right. Yeah, and that ultimately is what, to me, determines winners and losers in this league. It's the turnovers and the mistakes. And when you got a guy who is just throwing the ball around like that and being careless, I don't know if you ever really outgrow that.
I'm with you there. Just out of curiosity, because you cover the University of Miami, I know you're mainly on the football beat, but you've run into athletes over the years that are in the Olympics, trying out for the Olympics, all of that. And I would imagine there might be another student or two that's Olympic bound. What'd you think of that decision now to delay it for a year? I thought that was finally the right move for them.
Yeah, because really what the Olympics and those other sports, track, swimming, everything that you see in the Olympics, those guys have a schedule, right? They train in a certain way to get ready so that they peak for the Olympics. And, when you disrupt the schedule, nobody's allowed to train. You can't just pick up in the middle of August or whenever the hell it was scheduled and get ready to roll. You have to have other events that lead into it to help these guys prepare to be their best at the Olympics. And I think resetting it one calendar year is the perfect resolution to this, man. I mean, in all honesty, I wouldn't mind seeing sports in general whenever this thing gets figured out. If they got to change the month that we're used to seeing sports take place, do it. Fix the sports calendar. I mean, I know there's a discussion about the NBA saying,
yes,
well, why don't they just start on Christmas Day anyway? Why not?
They should.
You know what I'm saying? Just start on Christmas Day. I think there's ways to resolve and to survive some of these issues once regular life resumes. And I don't think we should be afraid to play with the sports calendar.
No, well, the NBA makes more sense than anything else, because really America doesn't pay attention to the NBA until the end of December when football is done. That's when they start getting some love out there overall. And we still kind of get into that, and you've covered the beat. They call February and late January the lazy days of the NBA because you're kind of like in the middle of the season and people are kind of tired already, and then they're just trying to get over that hump so they could get into March and April and it really picks up and all that, the doldrums of the season, as they say. So, yeah, it would be fantastic if they started in late December because that'll take you right into the summer, and that would allow them to dominate the summer. And, hell, how about the guys that have to travel in the NBA? They deal with less winter months in the travel. That would be nice, too, for those ladies and gentlemen that cover the NBA.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that, man. And you know what? With baseball and spring training taking place in February and March, really, is when pitchers and catchers and all the people report. I mean, you could move baseball up a little bit if you needed to. I mean, if this season gets canceled, for instance, baseball season, or the bulk of it gets canceled and they decide to just scrap it, start up a couple months earlier. I mean, they're down in warm weather cities anyway. You're not going to be dealing with the cold. I just think there's adjustments that could be made, and we don't have to be stuck to the way things have always been. I think, that's the one thing we get to do now during this coronavirus pandemic is sit at home and come up with ideas of how to fix sports. And I think there's ways to do it with the calendar for sure.
And by the way, how screwed up is it, dude, if this thing drags on and baseball and soccer get delayed so badly that they're playing deep into December? Those games are not going to be fun for soccer players, for baseball players, if they're playing in those winter cities in December.
Right.
That is going to be a freaking absolute mission, dude.
Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I think at this point, I mean, if you're only gonna play, let's say sports in general doesn't start up till August, right? And that's what I've heard some people say, thinking that this thing is gonna last until August. I mean, there's no way you can do a baseball season August to December. I think you just hit the reset button and say come back in January and we start early. Yeah. I just think there's got to be other ways to get this thing done, man. In the end, this is life and death. This pandemic. I think that has to take precedence, obviously, and it is. But I think, in terms of sports, we can think about it in a different way. We can try to make things work.
So, what are you guys doing over at the Athletic? Give them a little clue on what you guys are doing during the pandemic and how you guys are covering it locally and nationally.
Well, I mean, I've had a couple stories come out in the last week or so. I did 2 last week. It's sort of an in-depth read on the recruiting department, meaning how all the changes that they've made under Manny within the last year. When he hired a couple of extra guys, I ended up doing a whole piece sort of examining the 2020 recruiting class from the eyes of the recruiting coordinators, the guys who were right in the middle of it, how it was that they won some of those recruiting battles. So there's a good in-depth story, about 5,000 words, which is really long, but available to read. And then also today I just came out with the top 10 games of the Sneller brothers. I don't know what you've been doing with your free time. If you have much free time, I know you're always a busy guy working for a bunch of different people, but I spend a lot of my free time on the weekend when the kids go to bed on YouTube, looking at these old sports videos, and they've got all these games online. Full games. I'm talking about the full broadcast with commercials and everything in between. And so at a time like this, when you don't have sports, you can go back and watch some of these games. And last night I spent a couple of hours watching the 1973 AFC Championship game. I wasn't alive when it took place. I was born in 78. I'm 41 years old. But it was cool to see the orange, cool to see Bob Greasy running the offense, to see all that kind of stuff. So basically what I did was I put together a list for the Hurricanes of every single football game that I could find game film of, not just highlights, but like the complete game. And so I put together a list from 79 to 83 of the national championship year. I got about 10 videos in there with links. You can just go and read sort of a little summary of what the video and the time is about, what was kind of going on before and after that game. And then click on the video link, and you got a couple of hours of entertainment. If you're starved for sports, you're bored at home, you're getting tired of Netflix, definitely check that story out. I'm going to do one with Jimmy Johnson probably going to have about 25 games in it because the JJ era was just unbelievable with all those great games with Notre Dame and Oklahoma and all the games in between.
Let's remind the folks that if I'm correct, for new subscribers, you're giving them 90 days so they can actually check out the content, right?
Free 90 days, and it's kind of a good way to just, again, I know we're all sort of starved for sports news, and what we're doing is we're trying to get creative and come up with interesting stories at the Athletic. I know our college football team just did a fantasy college football coaching draft, the top 40 college coaches, 6 of our national writers, including Andy Staples and Bruce Feldman. They just came out with a story on that. I know everybody in college football's, kind of shocked at some of the picks. Manny Diaz, by the way, didn't make the top 40. The draft anyway. So, I mean, we're being as creative as possible. And you got some amazing sports writers on there. Some really, not only just national names, but people regionally. And that membership, free for 90 days right now. I think in the end, you can pay basically, I think, $4 or $5 a month if you want to stick with it once the sports season hopefully resumes. But it's a good way to check out everything we've done. Everything's available. It's not just the Miami-only content. It's the whole globe. Soccer overseas, MMA, anything that you're into, we cover it. And we've got great national writers and local writers. And so I would tell you right now, hey, what else are you doing? 90-day free trial. Just make sure you go to one of my stories. Look up Navarro on Twitter and sign up through one of my stories so I get the credit for it.
That's right. Sign up through Manny Navarro, Manny_Navarro there on Twitter. You can get the link and get through it. By the way, any truth to the story, okay, that Manny Diaz wanted to get a jump on everybody else in college football. He's out there recruiting in a hazmat suit. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what he's out there doing, man. It's crazy. I feel for these coaches, because think about how intense their lives are, how they go 100 miles an hour, preparing, recruiting all the time, preparing game plans, studying their own players, film for practice. Imagine the shock to the system right now that all of these guys are going through. Where this is what their life has been, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't get to vacation very long. And I cannot imagine what Manny Diaz has been doing at his house for the last, 9-10 days, however long he's been hunkered down there, unable to go into his office at Miami, unable to kind of, spend time doing what he normally does. I got to imagine all these coaches, these guys who spend countless hours just busting their ass trying to get an edge on the other guy, what they're doing with their free time. I'd love to know. I'd love to be able to call up Manny Diaz and just ask him, what the hell are you doing right now, man? Because you gotta be just jonesing to do something football related.
Oh yeah, there's no. Hey, we're all jonesing to do something that's normal. You know what I'm saying? That's because this new norm is one hell of an adjustment for all of us. And don't forget, this is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We do it every Tuesday at this time with Manny Navarro. And follow the folks at Caneswear at Canes_wear. Go to 2511 South University Drive in Davie. And, of course, right now they're closed, but you can shop online there at caneswear.com. So you can get anything you want. Canes, Dolphins, Marlins, Heat, Panthers, Inter Miami, too. All at Caneswear. Manny, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. Stay safe out there, baby. Stay corona-free.
You too, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro right here.
We had to get something Canes in, right?
So Definitely. Definitely. Got to get a little Canes in.